All right, Alexander, let's talk about what's going on with GameStop. Let's talk a little bit more about Robinhood actually in this video. Let's go into it a little bit as to the Robinhood app. The CEO of Robinhood, one of the co-founders and CEO, Vlad Tenev, he gave an interview to CNBC, and it was a train wreck of an interview. I thought, even though the host was very friendly towards him, it was very much a train wreck. And he gave me the impression that they have liquidity issues. That was the impression he gave me. Not that it excuses what they did, but that's point number one. Is in the interview, he said that they had to put a stop to it in order to protect their business and their customers. Okay, we understand that's a bunch of BS. But it sounds like they may have liquidity issues. There is a story breaking that is saying that Robinhood is now looking for an extra billion from hedge funds. And what this signals to me is that the Robinhood app once again shows this deep connection, deep ties between Silicon Valley and Wall Street. And it also shows that Robinhood's real allegiance does lie with Wall Street. In other words, it may have this clever marketing scheme where it's positioning itself towards the customer, but at the end of the day, they're also part of the Wall Street crowd, the Wall Street circle. And I also watched Tucker Carlson last night, and Tucker Carlson also said that Robinhood app not only has ties to Wall Street, but one of its revenue streams is actually packaging the data of its customers, the traders, and actually giving that over to Wall Street. I can't confirm that, but that's what Tucker Carlson tonight said during their segment. Anyway, we have lawsuits now against with the Robinhood app. We have Facebook banning. I believe they banned the Wall Street Bets group.
That's right.
But on the flip side, Alexander, Discord, which had banned the Wall Street bet groups, has walked it back, and now they are working with this group in order to help them moderate their Discord server better. So a lot of stuff going on. Needless to say, what Robinhood did was absolutely terrible from every vantage point, towards its customers, towards its, whoever has shares in this company or the venture capital has invested in this company. Any way you look at it, their move to ban trading for these specific stocks, GME, Nokia, and AMC, to be more specific, was just a terrible, terrible misstep. Alexander, what do you make of everything that's going on?
It was a catastrophic misstep, and bear in mind how Robinhood has been marketing itself. Just consider its name. I mean, they picked the name Robinhood, which basically aligns itself with, shall we call them, small investors against the big establishment boys in Wall Street. Well, it turns out they're not Robin Hood at all. They're the Sheriff of Nottingham. They're going around arresting, effectively, or rather closing down all of these people. They're shutting them off before they can complete their trades, which is astonishing. So people are losing money, it seems. And if it's true what Tucker says, that they're actually providing data, then, which I don't know, by the way, but if it is true, then, as I said, that's even more shocking. And it shows that they are really absolutely, the Sheriff of Nottingham and Guy Gisborne and all those sort of things. So it looks terrible, actually. And I understand entirely that they may have liquidity problems. And I understand also that it may give Wall Street huge leverage over them. But in that case, and I'm going to choose my words now very, very carefully, they were at the very least not transparent with their own customers. Their own customers came to used this app in good faith, were given certain expectations about what they could do through it. There is no suggestion that they have broken any law that I can see. No claims that have been made to that effect have been remotely convincing. And if Robinhood is in a position where the big financial institutions on Wall Street have leverage over them, then given how they were marketing themselves, I'm afraid they had an obligation to the people who were coming to them to make that fact known. So it looks terrible, and I understand there's a class action now working its way up, and I am sure this is going to escalate. And of course, clearly, we see the connection between the tech companies, the big tech companies, and, the less big tech companies, but this is a tech company, and Wall Street. But of course, we now have further indications of possible, again, I use my word might choose my words carefully, possible collusion between tech companies and Wall Street, and of the what I like to call the cartel of oligarchs working in unison, with this latest step taken by Facebook, which again, they're making allegations of inappropriate sexual language. I think anybody who takes that seriously, well, again, as I like to say, I have a bridge to sell them. It's a huge coincidence, of course, that this has just happened now. Facebook never noticed this problem previously. So, that is incredible. And I am not surprised that the discourse people, seeing this train wreck, which, as I said, is going to create all kinds of legal issues, are now walking back because they must be getting extremely concerned. Because, saying something else, 150,000 people apparently are involved. Some people say 250,000 people. These are people who have at least enough money to move markets. So they've got enough money to bring class actions. And it looks as if that's what they intend to do. So I think a foolish step by Robinhood, a train wreck of an interview, as you absolutely rightly say, giving away more information, which I suspect could be used against them in the legal case which is coming, and more indications of collusion between tech companies. This has been an extraordinary affair, very revealing one, another example of how the mask has been falling, dropping off the tech companies and Wall Street. And I'll be watching, I think we will all be watching these events with close interest.
All right. So Nancy Pelosi says that they're going to look into it. This is interesting. AOC has also said that she's completely shocked and appalled by what Robinhood did. And she's part of she sits on the finance committee. I don't know how of Congress, of the House. What can you say there? But anyway, so she's come out and she's taken a strong position. Ted Cruz agrees with her. Donald Trump Jr. agrees with her. And of course, AOC is saying, I want nothing to do with you guys because you tried to have me murdered on January 6th. Anyway, she's absolutely beyond nuts. If that was the most dangerous she's ever been in her life, then God, she must have led a very privileged life. But anyway, I find this very interesting because is there a difference between what Robinhood did to its customers, in other words, preventing them from making a living, preventing them from making money, preventing them from free speech, from expressing themselves, for accessing the service that they signed up for just using the service and being free to use the service according to the terms of Robinhood? Is there any difference between what Robinhood did to their customers and what big tech has done to everybody they have deplatformed from Alex Jones onwards, or any difference between what big tech did to Parler and to Parler's customers and users? Because to me, it sounds like a whole lot of hypocrisy coming from Pelosi and especially from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
No, there is no difference, at least none that I can see. The one follows directly from the other. These companies, as we've been discussing many times, have not been acting like platforms. They've been acting like editors and increasingly like censors. Do you remember all that concept, all that thing we were talking about a few years ago about net neutrality, which the Democrats were supposed to be all in favor of? Well, whatever happened to that? So that's exactly where it is. And of course, it's very interesting to see AOC, saying that, this is all outrageous, this is all completely wrong, these people have behaved in this despicable and appalling way, at one and the same time as she has been advocating passionately for more and more restrictions on what people can say and do on these various platforms. And what I suspect has happened is that AOC, who I seem to remember is actually a representative in New York, so, fairly close to the action, probably is coming under pressure from all sorts of people who are, very angry because this has happened, because possibly, this is the kind of thing that some of her constituents might have been involved in. It's not inconceivable. And so she's raising all of this, and it seems at one level to be consistent with her ideology. But at the same time, what she is struggling to see is that what she is saying is in total contrast to what she has been saying for the last couple of years on the restrictions across the internet, which we have also been seeing. And can I just say, in Pelosi's case, I have no doubt at all that the reason she is speaking out is because AOC is speaking out. Make no mistake about it, AOC is increasingly becoming the dominant voice in the Democratic Party on many topics, on many subjects. So Pelosi has to appease AOC. AOC has, as I said, ideological issues about this, political issues, no doubt real allegiances, but is probably coming under some pressure too. But ultimately, what they are saying contradicts what they have been doing for a long time. And I would just point out to both Pelosi and AOC that the reason this has happened, the reason Robinhood did what it did, is because AOC and Pelosi have been greenlighting all the other restrictions. They haven't been greenlighting, that's entirely the wrong word. They have been encouraging all these restrictions that big tech has been making. And now, of course, it's spread to the financial services industries and to the people who have, trying to build up their livelihoods in this way. One other point is that, of course, all of these people who are doing these things, who've had these things done to them, the people in this group, as I said, they are in a position to bring a class action. And I'm going to make a guess that there's going to be a massive attempt now to try to settle that, because the very last thing big tech and the Democrats want to see is to see this whole case go all the way through to the Supreme Court of the United States, where possibly all sorts of decisions and comments may be made and set out in a judgment which might cut away much of what big tech has been up to over the last few years.
Yeah, I think that they're going to try to figure out a solution so that Wall Street isn't damaged, so that they can continue with their big tech censorship purge. And they're going to have to sacrifice someone at the altar, and it's going to be Robinhood. That's my opinion. Robinhood's going to take the fall. That'll be how it shakes out.
That's exactly what I think too. I think that's exactly the way this is going. I think that Robinhood is, small, so, and it's not central. It's certainly not central to the Democrats. So they'll let it go. They'll let it go down in flames, but because their greater concern is to protect the big tech monopoly that is working so much in their interests at the moment. I just wanted to say something. I've been reading the First Amendment of the Constitution, and this is my own personal view. Many people won't agree. Most lawyers possibly at the moment might not agree. But I would have thought that a really intelligent jurist on the Supreme Court, an Antonin Scalia possibly, or perhaps someone else, we shall see, might actually find words in the First Amendment that could actually mean that the First Amendment does apply to big tech, despite big tech claiming that, as they're private companies, the First Amendment doesn't apply to them, because the First Amendment speaks of Congress passing laws which don't restrict freedom of speech. Well, Congress has passed laws in relation to big tech. I mean, Section 230 is a law, and there are other laws too. And if, as a result of those laws, freedom of speech is being restricted, I would have thought that there might be an argument that the First Amendment applies. I'm not saying that's the case. I just throw that out.
All right, we'll leave it there, and we'll continue to follow this incredible, very important story. All right, Alexander Rickers, thank you very much. Guys, make sure to look for us on BitChute, on Odyssey, and on Rumble. Also, make sure to check out Alexander's channel. You'll find the link down below. Look for my channel. You'll find the link down below. PayPal, Patreon, subscribe, start in Bitcoin. Your help is always very, very appreciated. And of course, the Duran shop, where you can pick up some great merch, long sleeve, hoodies, mugs, all types of great things. You'll find a link for that down below as well.
Absolutely. You'll find wonderful things in our shop. You'll be able to support us by coming to our shop. Please look us up on all our other platforms that Alex mentioned, BitChute, Library, Odyssey, Rumble, the rest. And please also support us as you can through PayPal, Patreon, Subscribe Star, and via Bitcoin by sending us through Bitcoin also. And please join us in our next program.
All right. Take care, everybody.